Welcome back, True Seeker. It is December 29th, 2022, and predictably, Pele has passed on this very specific date on the 68th day of his age, where the next World Cup in 2026 will be 68 years after Pele won his first World Cup in 1958. And this is why I brought up last night on TFR, as I've been bringing up throughout the week, that we very well could see Pele die on this day for these reasons. It also happens to be a date with 83 numerology, where in the language of Gematria, murder equals 83 and Brazil equals 68. Also equaling 83 is the word football, and Pele was 82 years old at his time of death, which means he died in his 83rd year of life. Again, the day you turn 82 is the day you begin your 83rd year of life, just like how when you're born, you begin your first year of life. You turn 1, you begin your second year of life. We've seen these patterns so many times. Earlier this year, we were talking about John Hadle, a football player, dying in his 83rd year of life, 83 days after the NFL season began, being from Kansas, who won the 83rd March Madness. So anyhow, let's put this all together. Last night was the latest time we talked about this. Last night's broadcast of TFR, this from 19 hours ago. Just to play a little clip of this, and we'll go further into it. And the parallels to Maradona. Again, it was Maradona's death that allowed us to call Argentina to beat France before the World Cup even began. And it's looking like it's pretty much in the bag for Brazil for the next World Cup, because this one's perfectly synced with their star player Neymar, as we'll get to. But here was last night's TFR, just talking to DK Stonewood and bringing up what we very well might see about Pele today on this day.
And I'll talk about it.
Oh, hold on. I probably have to turn off this echo canceling feature, otherwise you won't hear it. But let me do that real quick. Let's try this again.
At the end. And then as far as the World Cup goes, can you refresh my memory real quick? Well, Pele was on his deathbed and all that, and you did some stuff about that right now while the World Cup was going on. What was the gist of that again?
Well, the day the headline first broke that he was on his deathbed was 41 days after his birthday, and World Cup equals 41. And again, the World Cup began this year on the day, leaving 41 days left in the year. And I'm curious about what happens to him tomorrow. It's already tomorrow on the East Coast, but tomorrow's got the 83 date numerologies in his 83rd year of life, like football and murder's 83. And if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow is also 68 days after his birthday, and Brazil equals 68. So obviously his time is near, but we'll see. Okay, so that was last night's broadcast. Again, for me, it was still December 28th, so just after 9 p.m. And here we are the next day on December 29th, the date with 83 numerology. And sure enough, Pele is gone. So again, if you're new here, let's actually look up a song that came out in 83. It's by the band The Police. It's the song Murder by Numbers. Again, it came out in 1983. Let me get the lyrics here for you. I'm not a singer, but I can read. Once that you've decided on a killing, first you make a stone of your heart, and if you find that your hands are still willing, then you can turn a murder into art. There really isn't any need for bloodshed. You just do it with a little more finesse. If you can slip a tablet into someone's coffee, then it avoids an awful lot of mess. It's Murder by Numbers 1, 2, 3. It's as easy to learn as your ABCs. Another song out there, Gematria, the Killing Name. This song, Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words like ABC 1, 2, 3. But again, dark lyrics. Just to let you know, these things are out there. This stuff is part of pop culture. It's just most people aren't looking into what these people are really singing about. Just like no one out there is really looking into much anything or questioning anything. They're kind of just enjoying the ride of life. The sports game, the tasty food, the beverage, chalking everything up to coincidence. Pelé, the superstar, just happens to be on his deathbed during the World Cup, arguably the greatest football player of all time. But anyhow, the date numerology for today, 12 plus 29 plus 20 plus 22 is 83. And again, in Gematria football, just taking the alphabetic order, for the person out there who'd say, well, why are you using English? Again, because English is the language of the world. No other language can claim that. There's no other language being taught in classrooms all across the world, whether you're in China, the US, or anywhere else. And again, if you study this, you'll realize that in the 16th century, English was completely transformed into the language it is now. The Gregorian calendar came out. Both of these things are credited to the Catholic Church. The Jesuits were credited in the 16th century just before this. And again, how did we call the World Cup? By understanding that it was the first World Cup the day after the first Jesuit Pope's birthday, Pope Francis, where the Jesuits are from France and he's from Argentina. And if Argentina beat France, France would be 2-2 in World Cups in the 22nd World Cup ever in 22. Again, it's that simple when you know what's going on. But anyhow, football equals 83 when you turn A into 1, B into 2, C into 3, just like the song's about. Into Z is 26, the 26th letter. Murder's 83 when you just run the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. Football and murder, 83. We talk about these numbers all the time. How can you know it's the Jesuits that are doing this? Well, there's about a million different reasons. But take, for example, the film Murder by Numbers, starring Sandra Bullock, where they code the 3 and the 8 in the words. By the way, he's dead 38 days before Neymar's birthday, and murder does equal 83 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. It equals 38 when you run it in reverse with numerology. Again, the song Murder by Numbers in 83. The star of Murder by Numbers, Sandra Bullock's name's 83. Murder by Numbers, the film, came out on April 19th, which is a very important date of the Jesuit order. It's the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola became the first leader of the Jesuits, who is the founder of the Jesuits. And of course, his name, Ignatius of Loyola, equals 201, like Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201, who's the first Jesuit pope, Pope Francis, who's the first to live in Suite 201. Today is 1229, where 1229, that's the 201st prime number, 1229, 201st prime. Who just won the World Cup at the time of Jesus the Messiah's birthday? Messi, who stayed separate from the team in hotel room number 201. Of course, the film came out 38 weeks after Sandra Bullock's 37th birthday, the day she began her 38th year of life. And again, words like killing, death, R.I.P., along with murder equal 38. Just like Gematria, English, Kabbalah, Energy, Jew. Murder also has the Gematria 79, which is the 22nd prime number. Here we are after the 22nd World Cup. There's an Agatha Christie story about killing by the code of ABC 123 called the ABC Murders, which has the same Gematria as Society of Jesus. So the clues are abound. And again, this is why we thought this date, because the numerology was right there to kill arguably the most famous football player of all time. And again, it's 38 days before Neymar's upcoming 31st birthday. Neymar equals 31. 31's the 11th prime, like football's a game of 11 on 11. And then from Pelé's birthday, which is October 23rd, born October 23rd, from his birthday to today, his death is his 68th day of his age. Brazil, 68. He won his first World Cup in 58. The next World Cup will be 68 years later, where more than likely Brazil will be the favored team, as they almost always are in all World Cups. And again, Maradona dies. Here. Maradona died 107 weeks before Argentina clinched their World Cup berth. Diego Maradona, 107, like ritual sacrifice. See how this goes? He died in Tigre, which means tiger, in the year of the tiger, Argentina, in the World Cup. Notice also, Maradona wore number 10. Messi wore number 10. Pelé wore number 10. Neymar wears number 10. Why do they all wear 10? What's that about? What's 10 about? Here, another song. Marilyn Manson. Say 10. This song came out around 2016. Say with the number 10. Sounds like Satan. And the chorus is, you say God, and I say 10. Show you where this works out perfectly in Gematria. And again, we'll get to the Church of Satan, where it fits in with today too. But you notice how God in Gematria, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, it's 55 and 10. 55 is the 10th triangular number, which means if you add 1 through 10 together, it equals 55. And it's also the 10th Fibonacci number. And if you don't know the Fibonacci sequence, look it up. But God, 55 and 10. Look at Satan. When you run the alphabetic order forward, Satan is 55 and 10. And who are most people really worshiping? Anyhow, there's a reason for all these numbers. Everything is a numbers game. And again, you want to get ahead of what's going on in the world? For anybody who would come here and accuse us of divination, that's not what this is. The people who are doing this are into divination. What we're doing, though, is saying, see, this is how the wicked warlocks operate. This is how the wicked witches operate. And here's how you can get ahead of their next move, because it's what they're doing every single day. And for all the people out there who's like, well, what about him being sick? Well, how did he get sick? Here, we're talking about Latin America. What did Hugo Chavez say more than a decade ago? He said, there is a cancer weapon. They're making people sick to kill them. Where's Hugo Chavez? He's dead. He's a world leader. He has more access to information than most people who walk this earth ever will. Look at all these people in the world of celebrity who die at such young ages in perfect rituals, supposedly from cancer and all this preventable disease and illness, when they're multimillionaires. Again, you guys, it's not an accident that they pronounced Pelé near death. Again, this was the first ever World Cup that began on the day leaving 41 days left in the year. Notice how World Cup does have the gematria of 41. Also 40. Today's a span of 40 days from its beginning. But it was 41 days after Pelé's birthday that they announced that he was on his deathbed. First ever World Cup to begin on the day leaving 41 days left in the year. And again, just from understanding the Jesuits and the way they got the language and the calendar synced up, again, you can get ahead of the ritualistic death, you can get ahead of the ritualistic murder, you can get ahead of the ritualistic election. You can see how the whole game is rigged. Keep in mind, Neymar is going to turn 34 years old. He'll be 34 for the next World Cup. Look at the gematria of murder. Murder, 34. Pelé's dead on the 83 date numerology. In his 83rd year of life, 38 days before Neymar's birthday. And again, that's the proof that these stars are born for it. You see how Messi, when he set the Argentina goal record, he did it in his 34th minute? Remember his name, Leo Messi, 34. And again, just to go back in time, what we were talking about, Maradona, whoops, spelled his name wrong. Maradona and Messi, let's just go back. Let's go back to November 25th, 2020, when Maradona died. For the record, you guys, 10 is the 4th triangular number. Argentina just became the 4th team in World Cup history to lose in the opening round and then win the World Cup. And I talked about that the day they lost. And remember, the day that they had the greatest World Cup upset in history, it was 83 days after the leader of Saudi Arabia's birthday. The leader of Saudi Arabia. 83 days later, his country, Saudi Arabia, upsets Argentina in the opening round after a bunch of bogus penalty calls. So, I mean, you guys can go back and watch that video. It's still up. And again, the reason you got to know it forwards and backwards, when Morocco went down, it was 115 days after the King of Morocco's birthday that they lost to France. I showed you how in every single match, all the games were synced with the world leaders of these nations. So you have to ask yourself, how can it be that perfect? It's because this is the new world order. The new world order treats the world like a chessboard. They got the right puppet dictator in here, Understand, every country's a dictatorship. Democracy doesn't exist, you guys. There's no such thing as democracy. If you think America's a democracy, you got to be some kind of brain dead. If you think any of these countries are some kind of democracy and they're counting your votes, you got to be some kind of brain dead. Couldn't be any more obvious than at this moment in history. Been explained to you guys. I mean, I don't know how anyone hasn't seen it. Do you guys remember what happened in 2000 when the election came down to the state where a Bush was governor, and then they overturned the results so that a Bush became the president, and he became the first Republican president since his father, who was a Bush? I mean, that's over 20 years ago now, and people still haven't figured it out. How do you rig the sports game? You watching these games? They're a joke. They're a joke. The goalie taps the ball out right in front of himself so that right to the opposing player so he can just boot the ball back in the net. I mean, how many times did you watch that in the World Cup? It's a joke. These games are a joke. This whole thing's a joke. The fact that humanity can't figure out what's going on is a joke. But anyway, coming back to Messi, again, span of 4 days from the death of Maradona, or actually 4 days after Maradona's death, he wins 4-0. Then he becomes the fourth player to lead his team to the World Cup after losing in the opening round in the rigged ritual against Saudi Arabia. Talking about how Leo Messi equals 34 and 47 like hand of God. Ends up setting the Argentina goal record at the 34th minute of the game. And the year he pays tribute to Maradona. Maradona wins it in 86. Messi wins it 1 day after Pope Francis' 86th birthday, who's from Argentina. Again, the last French pope died on the 86th day of the year. Pope Francis became the first Jesuit pope 86 days after his birthday. Jesuits equals 86. Like blood sacrifice, like human sacrifice. From Messi's birthday to Maradona's death was 154 days. Ritual sacrifice, also Argentina. And again, the time they won the World Cup was in Saturnalia, which is also 154. December 17th through the 23rd. They won it on the 18th in Saturnalia. So, just think about it, how redundant it all is. Everyone's wearing number 10. It's clear this sacrifice is connected to Neymar in the next World Cup. So, the bummer is Brazil will probably only pay something like 3-1 to win the World Cup. But hey, that's not bad. 3-1's not bad. Better than nothing. So, and for the record, dying at age 82, like you think about the NBA, hockey, they both have 82-game seasons. The word game also has the gematria 82. And you see where game is 26 and 17. Look at God, you know. Treat these athletes like they're living legends. They're living gods. The game is God for a lot of people. The big star players wearing the number 10. But yeah, you know. It's sad. It's sad. If you guys have never seen Pele's highlights before, like I used to have a high school teacher. Well, he was also he was the soccer coach here in America. Of course, we call it soccer. And he loved to talk about international football, and his thing was how Maradona was easily the best football player of all time. I don't think so, though. You watch the Maradona highlights, you watch the Pelé highlights. I don't think there's any comparison. Pelé was a smooth operator. Dribble through the whole field. Pull off the beautiful shot. I honestly think the only reason that they even compare Maradona to Pelé is because his skin complexion's lighter. So, I never seen a prettier football player in terms of what they did on the field than Pelé. But yeah, Pelé won in 58, 62, and 70. So 2026 is going to be 68 years later. That's why it matters that he's dead on his 68th day of his age. And you could also say he died 67 days after his birthday. Again, 67 days after the birthday or his 68th day of his age. Blood sacrifice, 67 forwards, 86 in reverse. Again, this World Cup just had everything to do with 86. Argentina repeating what they did in 86. The year Maradona won it. And human sacrifice also 67 and 86. And of course, satanic also has that 67. Killer. You know. So again, just take all the knowledge that's out there. Hugo Chavez telling you about the cancer weapon. Not to mention even back in the 70s, like the CIA had to testify about, you know, supposed advanced weaponry they had. Things similar to cancer guns. I mean, this stuff's been around. Make a guy sick, and then off him by the numbers on just the right day in the hospital. Okay. Here, if anybody has anything else to add to this ritual, I know there's some better football decoders out there, the script unveileds of the world and whatnot. I'll open up the phone line for a little bit. Could do like 30 minutes of calls if we got 30 minutes worth of calls. If you guys want to call in, the number is 509-560-4982. Again, 509-560-4982. $408.
Hey, Zach.
Yep.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
Good. So I had something I wanted to add. So going back to the Freemasons and the Knights Templar, when the Knights Templar were crucified by the French, they tortured them to get out their secrets. And so when people think of Baphomet as like the god that they worship, it's actually something. If you go to DuckDuckGo and you look up Jabulon, and you can see that this is the Masonic deity that the Freemasons worship. And when you type Jabulon in the Gematria decoder, you'd be pretty interested to look at the numbers because it's 83, 29, and 133 as their Gematria. And so that being Jabulon, the god that these secret societies worship, and 29 being Friends Gematria as well. You just been mentioning 83 today and 133. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Okay, I have heard before that is the lost word of Freemasonry, the secret password, Jabulon. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then when you look at the picture of what Jabulon is, it's a three-headed god that is on a crab body with a cat head, a king figure with a beard and a crown that's a zombie, and then a frog.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of research on that. I'll look more into it. Very interesting. Appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
All right, take care. Yeah, Jabulon has the exact same gematria as football in all four ciphers, and of course American football is credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. So maybe there's more to it than you know. 580.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
How you doing? Lovely to hear the work that you're doing. Just to figure out what the last person...
Can you make your volume louder somehow?
Okay. Just to figure out what the last person said, the 2010 World Cup official ball was called Jabulani. I don't know if I'm correct, but I just heard what she said, and that just rung something in my head. The ball that was used for the 2010 Soccer World Cup was called the Jabulani, and I don't know if it's connected or anything.
The ball? Are you saying the ball that was used for the World Cup was called the Jabulani?
Yeah, in 2010, the name of the ball was called the Jabulani ball. It was this ball that had a lot of controversy, like they shoot it and it just go in different ways. The goalkeeper said they had been catching the ball, but if you read this, World Cup in South Africa, the official match ball was called the Jabulani. So that was very interesting to me.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. Interesting.
Yeah. And I just have a question.
Oh.
Do you think the players are on this, or this is something that is like, do they know what is going on, or they just blind follow, or they just like slaves to this? That's my own thing. That's my own question. I prefer to work, and it's like, do they know what's going on, or they just stop it?
My thought is that some of the players are definitely in on it, but probably not all of them. I think the big stars are definitely in on it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Appreciate the connection. Thank you.
For sure.
All right, take care. So the first call seemed like it was sort of off topic, but then he points out that in 2010, the World Cup ball was called the Jabulani. Remember, the Jesuits created modern Freemasonry. 559.
Hey Zach, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good. Last week I saw a video. The politician Rand Paul, he was going on one of his rants about
Does this have to do with Pelé?
No, but I found a 201. I wanted to call in with your Philadelphia 2023 video. He was going on a rant about useless government spending, and they spent $118,000 on a Thanos gauntlet replica to see if a metal glove could snap the fingers. You know the movie Infinity War where he snaps the fingers and half the world disappears? Thanos gauntlet has gematria of 177 and 201.
Okay. Appreciate it.
And then, did you see a bunch of outlets posted a couple days ago Nostradamus' predictions for 2023? And they said the Antichrist will rise, World War III, and the monarchy dies.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. You think as often as I go on rants about how I wish my callers would be on topic, that it would actually happen, but people like keep calling in like it's like they obviously watch the streams, but then they call in off topic anyway. It's just like so manning. Can anybody ever call in on topic? It's like nobody ever has anything to share on the actual topic. It's maddening. All right. Well, and nobody can call in on topic. We can also just end the stream there because I pretty much got out all that really needs to be said, unless there is more to it. And then it seems like as soon as I end the stream, somebody will leave a really great comment, and it's like, why doesn't that person call in? It's like, I can't figure out people, man. (919)
How you doing, Doug?
I'll be doing better if somebody can call in on topic.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the Pelé thing, man. I'm a big soccer fan, so that's what I'm going to be talking about. Now, I'm kind of new to this Gematria thing. I've just found your channel probably a few months ago when you were talking about the Cristiano Ronaldo, Tom Brady thing with Man United. But getting back to the Pelé thing, man, that's crazy. You called it. You said it was going to be within the next 30 days, and it actually happened, man. So.
Well, last night I said why today would make sense, and I brought it up a few times how we got to watch out for Pelé on the 83 date numerology. I said if he makes it past Christmas, then the next thing is that 83 date numerology. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, these soccer players are dying left and right. You just talked about that English guy that played with Bobby Moore in the '66 World Cup.
George Cohen dead at 83.
That too.
George Cohen.
Yup. Man, these players are dying like flies, man. Crazy. But yeah, so you think that Brazil are going to win in 2026 with the Pelé thing?
Yeah, it's happening. This is how they do it right here. So.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy because I know you don't go into soccer or Premier League that much. That's the sport that I watch the most, so I don't really know too much about the NFL and NBA, but I'm pretty sure it's probably runs in the same line. So, yeah.
The same people control all these leagues worldwide. It's the same Jesuit Holy Roman Empire. They're doing the same thing worldwide all over the place.
Yeah, interesting, man. But yeah,
Well, I appreciate it. I'll let the next person get in. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, take care, man. 217. Well, I switched over. because it sounded like he was at the end of his thought and 217 was there, but then 217 hangs up. But yeah, we did just cover this. George Cohen's death. 217's calling back. All right, 217.
Hey, Zach. Hey, I was just watching the video and I saw how you pointed out 10 is the fourth triangular number.
Right.
And I didn't know that yet. I know a lot of triangular numbers, but I didn't know that one. But it seems like I probably should have known it. But I noticed the other night, I was like, what? The dude on the Magic, the first pick, he had 4 points. And I was like, that doesn't seem right because he's pretty dominant. And as a rookie, you probably want to show out every game. It didn't seem right. It was against the Lakers. And I was like, So I was thinking maybe is a connection there. Like, because right before Pelé passed away with the number 4, the 10 connection there. I didn't know if you were aware of that or if there was something.
Sure. It's just like in week 10 of the NFL season, we killed by understanding the teams that could hit their streaks of 4 because they just smashed all over the league. I mean, you learn your number relationships. And again, if people don't know what triangular numbers are, all that means is if you add 1 through 4 together, it equals 10. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. Thus, 10 is the fourth triangular number. So.
Right. All right. Well, that was my little observation that I seen with the numbers. So I was just calling to let you know about that one.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
You're welcome. All right.
Take care. +41 international dialing code. International dialing code, you're on. Okay. Might have some connectivity issues from calling from so far away. Here's another death in the news on the 83 date numerology. I'm not big in fashion, so I don't know who this is. Vivian Westwood. 949.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
What's
I
going
just
on?
want to point out that if you pull up the September cipher and type the full name of Pelé, it's going to equal 82, like the age he died.
Oh, Pele's full name in September is 82?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that cipher it does have relevance.
Yeah, also the next World Cup is going to be 2026, 226, the number of the planet in Jewish. And, the planet of the occult is Saturn.
Right.
Equals 93, and, that's the timekeeper planet. And if you put on the nickname of Pelé, which is El Rey, it has the same overlap as the word time.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's all I wanted to point out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
206.
Yo, Zach.
Yeah, what's going on?
Topic here. What's going on, man? First time I've called in. I've been watching you for many years. Anyway, Pele's real name was Edson Arantes do Nascimento, and that equals 89 in the most pure, and 3 World Cup wins equals 89 in the most pure. Pelé Gematria of his name is 20 in the most pure, and both his birth numerology and his death numerology were both 20. And
I should bring up that he died at Albert Einstein Jewish Hospital, and of course, gematria is a Jewish practice. I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Yeah, right. Anyway, just on a quick, I was just running some numbers real quick, and those are the most pertinent ones I found right now, but I'll do a little deeper one later. But anyway, that's what I got, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Stay on point, man.
Will do.
I'll call in again later. Shady.
All right, thanks. All right. +41 international dialing code.
Hey there. Hey there. Hey Zach, I'm really appreciate that I'm here. I'm the guy from Ukraine that's speaking so good English language, and I have found something interesting with my community. I was trying to tell it to you too the previous time, and please listen to me carefully. So there was a catastrophe of the plane in Donetsk on the 17th of July, 2014.
Okay.
And 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days after, it was the 23rd of February. It was the first day of the war in Ukraine.
I see.
And
I see.
And there is a lot of collaboration with 777 and Putin. For example,
Here. Hold on.
70.
Hold on 1 second. Pause your thought. Just for people who don't know this, 777 in Jewish gematria, order out of chaos equals 777, which is the Jesuit Masonic motto. And that's what they always do. They create these problems so they can bring about their solutions. So that's what 777 is all about in terms of how they operate. And when Trump took office, he was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old. And we pointed out then, we said, we already knew it was going to be bad who was ever in office when 2020 rolled around, because we knew what was coming in 2020 on the 19-year cycles that these psychopaths do. But it was also a sign when Trump came in by the numbers that it was going to be something massive, and it ended up being COVID-19.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I know.
Other people don't know, though. That's why you got to explain it for all the people listening. I mean, probably 90% of people listening right now have no idea what 777 is.
Okay, thank you. So the next big thing is that on the 444th day of the war, Putin will be 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old, exactly on this day. And it will be the 13th of May, I think, 13th of May. And there is another 2 dates with collaboration with Alexander Lukashenko. It is 23rd of January, because it is 144 days after his birthday. Like, listen, there is two dates, basically. Like 23rd of January and 20th of January. Yeah, like Alexander Lukashenko 201, and he made presidency in 201st day of the year, etc. And it will be exactly 144 days after his birthday. And I think that exactly on this date, Belarus will be joined the war, right? And as we know, the Belarus is 111, and the time between 333rd day of the war, which is 23rd of January, and the 444th day of the war, when Putin will become 777, it's exactly 111 days, right? So Belarus is 111. Do you get me?
So I just did the math in my head. Putin's birthday is October 7th, which is the day we invaded Afghanistan in history. So that means Israel's birthday, May 14th, is the day he'll be 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days.
Are you serious? May 14th is the Israel's date birthday. Are you serious?
May 14th is Israel's birthday. So that's the day he's going to turn 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days. So yeah, something's going on with that.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And think about that. It'll be their 75th birthday, like New World Order 75, like Catholic Church, like Order Out of Chaos, like the word order itself. So Order Out of Chaos is 777 in Jewish, but it's also 75, and it'll be Israel's 75th birthday. Yeah, something's going down for Israel's 75th birthday, no doubt about it.
Holy Grail. You need to make some stuff on your website. It will be legendary. These dates are really highly specific, you know. And I also will say that the 23rd of January
will be exactly 46 days after Joe Biden's birthday. And this will be 331st day of the war. And as we know, the president of United States is equals to 333, right? So Joe Biden is 46. 333rd day of the war will be exactly 46 days after the birthday of Joe Biden, and the kilo is also equals to 46, right? Yeah. So
Interesting.
It's a crazy connection, right?
Yeah, good calculations.
Okay, Doc, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Doc. Really, I appreciate it so much.
Well, keep up the great work. Interesting
Bye.
call. Appreciate it. All right, wasn't on topic, but it was a good call, so he scores a goal anyway. What's up, 678?
Hey.
Hey.
How are you, Zach?
I'm doing all right.
Hey, man, I don't know if you knew about, trying to stick to the topic here. Give me a sec, hold up. Yeah, what I was trying to tell you was that if you look at Pelé, he played for the club in Brazil, Santos, which it's weird because Neymar played for Santos as well. So Pelé is a Santos legend over there in Brazil for that club. And when Neymar was a young prodigy, he made a name for himself, playing for Santos. That's how everybody really remembers, young Neymar making a name for himself in Santos. And so I think definitely, just like they did the Maradona-Messi connection, they might really be doing the Pelé-Neymar connection as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's dead 38 days before his birthday. And like I said, he's going to be 34 in the next World Cup. And, yeah, I mean, to me, it's almost in stone that this is Brazil's World Cup, the next one. So,
yeah, so two players, two of considered the greatest Brazilian. I mean, at the moment, Neymar's the most talented Brazilian, and Pelé, the legend of Brazil. So they're definitely. It looks like they're gonna be giving Neymar his coronation as well.
yeah, it would make a lot of sense. So, good connection. I appreciate that.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right, yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye.
Hey, check this out, you guys. The woman who's dead, the fashion designer, I just saw it in the chat from Unbroken. She said in 1981, Vivienne Westwood's At the World's End fashion collection came out. It's in 81, and now she's dead at 81. We just had Bob Marley's grandson die on an 81 date numerology, 201 days from the anniversary of his first album. Of course, Bob Marley died by the numbers in 81. But yeah, the jokes never end. At the world's end. The end of 2022. Revelations, the 22nd, or has 22 chapters in it. The word end itself equals 23, and we'll be in 2023 next. What's up, 702?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hey, just throwing a 201 retro here. The same day Pelé loses his life. Today is the day that Tom Brady, the American GOAT, football GOAT, has spent over half his life in the NFL. That was in the news today.
Huh, that's crazy.
More time in the NFL than over half his life.
Yeah, his birthday's August 3rd, 8-3, Mr. Football. 45. Okay, yeah.
83 date numerology.
Right. Yeah, that's wild. Born to be.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, they got it all planned out.
What? Breaking up here.
No, it goes to show how planned out these people are. I mean, they've mapped it out.
Yeah, I mean, one football GOAT dies, the other GOAT is in the news for his, life being longer than the NFL. So that was kind of scripted right there.
Yeah, that's a great observation. I'll add that to the notes. Good one.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks.
you guys are pointing out that he's dead 188 days after Messi's birthday. Of course, yeah, the phrase greatest of all time is 188. So is Bavarian Illuminati, founded by the Jesuit. And that also means that it's 177 days before Messi's birthday, just like how he won the World Cup 177 days after his birthday. Of course, the World Cup ended 11 days ago. Football's a game of 11 on 11. But again, the 177-201 combination, for people who are new here, these numbers come together all the time in Jesuit rituals. 177-201, just like how they had Messi staying in room number 201 separate from the team. If you write out the Jesuit order, it's 177 forwards, 201 in reverse. So 188 days after Messi's birthday means 177 days before his upcoming birthday. And again, he just did win the World Cup 11 days ago, 177 days after his birthday. If you guys signed up for, it's just annoying to me that it's like the censorship. I wonder how many people would have signed up for the World Cup notes if I wasn't censored and buried in the algorithm. I mean, you would think the whole world would be signed up on my Patreon. You'd think every last sports gambler in the world would be signed up on my Patreon. Nobody has a better history in the world of futures. Win at a very high percentage, day after day, year after year for a decade straight. Again, that's why they had to destroy the channels, delete them, censor them, bury them in the algorithm. Probably would have had 10 million people sign up at $5 a month by now for the sports picks. But in a way, it's good that it's not that, because I feel like they'd have to switch up the way they rig the games. Unless they can't. Unless they just have to keep doing it this way. In case there is some real element of sorcery that makes it all play out just perfectly. For those people who are new here, go and look at the death of Captain Tom. He was knighted on July 17th, 17/7, and then dead exactly 201 days later from COVID. And there's a whole lot more to it. He's known for the Burma campaign. Burma's military overthrows the government the very next day. Klaus Schwab, who's a Jesuit's name equals 177, the primary sponsor of Event 201, the COVID pandemic simulation, so on and so forth. So, all right, we got another call here. Missouri, you're on.
How you doing, guys? It's John. We talked in a while, but I want to say that it's pretty sad world that people don't want to go out and expose those people what they do. You know what I mean?
Well, why don't people want to go out and expose it?
I think they're afraid.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because before the pandemic, I have a lot of respect for a lot of people, but after the pandemic, during pandemic time, I lost a lot of respect from other people that I look up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like I'm a big football fan. I'm a soccer fan, but I tell my friend every day, hey man, this team gonna win, this team gonna lose. This is how they scripted like that. Before I know your YouTube channel, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I just go by the storyline they told. You know what I mean? Like they'll talk about Messi. He scored one of the greatest goals. One of the guys said, whoever write a script like that ever. And I'm like, can you not hear what they're saying? It's scripted.
Right.
It's funny.
Right.
It's been a while, man. It's just crazy.
Indeed.
Crazy world.
Indeed.
Do you think that a way to save everybody from this thing happening again, like?
Ask that question again.
Like, do you think there's a way we can save everybody from the agenda they're doing to everybody? You know what I mean?
Well, I think, like somebody asked me a similar question yesterday. I said, well, I think if we can get this on a big enough stage, if we could figure out somehow to get it on TV, where it's like people only believe what they see on TV. I mean, if we get on TV every night and do what I do every day on this YouTube channel, I think next thing you know, you'd have hundreds of millions of people totally on board. It's just like I was telling you yesterday. Yesterday I was getting my hair cut, and when I live in a small town now, I come in there for the second time ever, and one of the ladies recognized me. I come in, she's like, "Hey, you're the numbers guy. I got some questions for you." And then next thing I know, everyone in the whole salon just stopped what they're doing, and they're all listening to me talk about this, and their minds are all blown. I'm like, see, I mean, people are receptive to this if it's explained the right way.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was listening to you yesterday about it, and I was like, man, if people remember you by what you do, that's the most important thing in this world, you know what I mean? Like, exposing the truth, exposing things and showing everybody the truth, that's the way you're supposed to live by, you know what I mean?
Indeed. More people got to find their courage, that's for sure. So,
okay, Brazil gonna win the World Cup 2026. Let's say, what's the plan B if, say, Neymar did not make that World Cup or something happened to him? What's the plan B?
no, I don't think we need to worry about a plan B. All we need to figure out is who they're going to play. It could even be like a repeat of history. Well, who was the 1958 World Cup? Who did Brazil play? I wouldn't be surprised if they did the exact same match right now. I have to look more into it, but that's oftentimes the way things go. It's funny that they beat Sweden. That's funny that they beat Sweden in the championship. We just had the interesting call from Sweden. That's weird. Well, I don't know. Is Sweden an up-and-coming team? Like, that's not who I was thinking it would be, but I'll have to do more research on who it could be. But I'll be surprised right now because that's exactly what I was saying, to look out and see if Pelé dies on the 83 date because it's the 68th day of his age, and if they go to the World Cup in the next one, it's 68 years after his first World Cup. So, I mean, it's exactly what they did. That's pretty much now exactly what I expect to happen. So,
yeah. You know, like, I played soccer for all my life. And one thing I realized, I got professional offer, all those things, but it's easy to, like, script the game, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, say you're the best player, you don't feel like gonna win today, just the coach will put you in the bad situation where you're not able to do things, or you're just not having a good day, or something like that. And it's like, when you're winning, your team about to win, the coach will tell you their plan, how they're going to do it, how they're going to use this player, all those tactical things. Every sport is like that, you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And I mean, just look at what they did with the UK star player. He has the penalty kick to tie the game, and he just boots the ball way over the goal. It's like, come on, man. It's so easy to score on a penalty kick. It's like almost impossible not to. So.
Oh, yeah. And one of the coach named Jose Mourinho used to be his coach. And he said, this guy is the best penalty kicker ever. And guess what? He doesn't miss, the way he said. But the funny thing about England, like, if it was a black player, they abused those guys. But it was one of their players, Harry Kane, they respect that guy. They're like, this guy, he has a bad day, let him go. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, cultural racism, absolutely. So.
I think the only way we can arise our truth is like say you got 100 people, probably donate $100 be good enough for your things, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
You're the only truth seeker there is, nobody else, you know what I mean? Exposing everything.
Well, I don't know about that. There's other people that are doing good work, but I'll tell you what, this thing that I brought out of the woods, this knowledge right here, man, it unlocks a lot of doors. I don't know any other knowledge that's out there in the truth community that unlocks as many doors as this does. So.
You know, there's this guy named what's his name? Tony Tell, like it is.
That's a clown. That's a clown show.
That's the guy I started following first, Gematria, and I like every time he says something, it happens to be the opposite.
Yeah.
I like, man, And then I follow you, and everything you say is just facts. I don't do sport betting. I just like to see the outcome. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. So I can tell my friend that bet. I'm like, hey man, don't bet your money on this team. Bet on this sport. You know what I mean? Sometimes they come by, ask me for advice. I'm like, yeah, just follow this guy here. He might help you. His name is Zach, and this is his website or YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that Tony Tell It Like It Is has just been a total goofball since he came out of nowhere. He just shut up one day, and his first video was saying that my Super Bowl pick was going to be wrong, and it was going to be the Cardinals and the Steelers, and of course my Super Bowl pick was dead on that year, and then his next 3 years in a row he said it was going to be the Steelers and the Cardinals every year. That was never the Super Bowl. Every year that I've been right about the World Series, he's been putting out videos that I'm going to be wrong about the World Series. He just, and like, I don't even believe his background, because he claims to be, when he'd be on, like, Zach's my mentor, but his sports picks are going to be wrong, and we both go to Arizona State University. I'm like, does this guy even go to Arizona? I really did go to Arizona State University, but did he even go there? He just seemed like some corny character that came out of nowhere just to make this work look stupid, but yeah.
He always say that. I'm like, man, it's something not right. I'm like, if you know Zach, he probably helped you, but you probably never met him in your life before, you know what I mean?
Right, we never met, that's for sure. So, all right, friend. Well, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Yep. Be safe.
Take care. 818.
Yeah, what up, Zach?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so the 2026 format for the World Cup is going to be a little bit different. I'm a little behind on the live streams. I don't know if somebody called in with this, but if Brazil plays the 7 games on the new format, they will be the champions. That will bring them up to 83 wins in their World Cup history.
Oh, so there's supposed to be a new format for the next World Cup?
Correct. It used to be 4 teams per group during the stage phase. Now it's only 3. So you only play the other teams once. So you only play 2 games during group stage, and then there's 32 teams during the knockout stage.
32, 16, 8, 4.
Wins for the eventual World Cup champion.
Did you say there'll be 8 games?
There'll be no ties.
Did you say there'll be 8 games?
7.
There'll be 7. Well, that's there was 7 in this tournament too, right?
Correct. I believe so. Now at during the group stage, there'll be no ties.
I see.
Like there's always been ties during group stage. There was no option of an overtime. Now in 2026, if you end regulation in a tie, you go straight to penalty kick. So there's no draws.
Okay. I'm pulling up this thing that you're saying about 83 because, yeah, that would just be another nail in the coffin for what it looks like they're doing here.
So if they win their seven games with no possibility of tying or a draw, that would bring their win total to 83 games in their World Cup history. They lift the cup.
Yeah, they're on 76 wins right now. Yeah, so if they win 7 more games, they'll have 83. Okay. I suppose they could lose a game and win with 82 as well, since he died at age 82. So.
Yeah, that too. That's possible.
But yeah, either way, that would make sense.
Yeah, I had left a comment about Argentina scoring their 151st goal during the final, and then they scored that on the 36th minute of the final.
Right. And
that
was
crazy.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, for people who don't get it, Argentina scored their 151st goal all time in the World Cup, the 36th prime number at the 36th minute. They came into this World Cup with 36 straight wins. The World Cup championship was on a date with 36 numerology. This death today is synced with Messi's 36th birthday. The Pope's born in 36. There's even more 36s that I'm forgetting right now, but that's how scripted the games are. So.
Exactly.
The next World Cup for Brazil. The next World Cup for Brazil will be their 23rd. 83 is the 23rd prime number.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have for today, Zach. Thanks, man.
All right. Yeah, take care.
Right, peace.
Also, I just thought about one more thing. Just might have him dying at 82 and the next World Cup being in 26. Just the word game. 26 forwards, 82 in reverse. This is the game of life and death. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I got to do a live stream in a little bit on the Patreon for Thursday Night Football and college bowl games. If you want to join the Patreon, we're a little bit shy of the goal that I said I wanted to hit to go down to LA for the Kobe anniversary. I might still do it anyway because I want to do it. But I'll make that announcement at the beginning of the year if I'm going or not. And thank you to everyone who did help me get at least closer to the goal. And thank you to everyone who comes back on the Patreon next month. And it's funny, a lot of people at the end of the month, they do this little cheap maneuver. They downgrade what their pledge is. So it's like, it's just such a tricky thing to do. It's like, okay, so they were like pledged at the $5 tier so they get all sports content, and then they repledge at the end of the month at $1 to get the discount before they get charged. I'm just like, there's nothing you can do about it, but people will be people, I suppose. So anyhow, people will cheat where they can get away with it. Anyway, we'll leave it there, you guys. And yeah, for all the sports enthusiasts, I'll see you on the Patreon stream in a little more than an hour. And we'll see if we can produce another winning day. R.I.P. to Pelé. And again, I hope you're not planning to go to the 2026 World Cup, because this stuff is sick, man. Nobody should be supporting this stuff. Rigged games, ritual murder. You know, the only reason to go to the 2026 World Cup is if you're not getting a ticket and you're going to be standing outside the stadium with your R.I.P. Pelé sign to tell people what they did. And in fact, I think some of the World Cup games are going to be in the USA in 2026. I think it's in Canada. I think it's in all 3 North American countries, if I'm not mistaken. See exactly where the championship is. 2026 will be here before you know it. Maybe I'll do that, actually. Maybe I'll go outside the stadium, drop some Gematria bombs. So... yeah, Shark, I got to pick up the sound system. If I do go down for the Kobe anniversary, believe me, I'm getting the Lincoln Karam sound system to do the Kobe presentation right on the anniversary of his death. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Thanks to everyone who hit the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who spreads the work. Try to share with your friends and family. Tell them how rigged the World Cup is. Show them how they're killing these players. People got to know. Till next time.